Hi guys, my name is Jason Ducote and I'm a nationally certified personal trainer. Today I wanted to talk about how to keep your spine healthy and mobile while being in this pandemic COVID-19 shelter in place. It's really easy, and especially in these times, to become sedentary and less mobile. And I just wanted to show you some ways, some quick pointers, and quick exercises and stretches that will help you stay mobile and help keep the spine maintained and moving well. So what I'd like to do is start off with the upper part of us. We'll get into some uh, arm circles. So we'll go ahead and have our palms up and really start to do those circles, keeping the shoulder blades pinned back, kind of pulled back and down, and really focus on little circles and make gradual bigger ones. And then you can switch directions. Good. And then we can also go across the body. I would do this until we get a little burn in the shoulders, just so we know that we're getting nice and warmed up and activating that joint of the shoulder. Good. So we'll just kind of hang out here, go back to our arm circles. This is kind of a warm up and getting things moving, so you can kind of play around with how you apply it. Make sure you maintain good posture with the chest nice and puffed out, shoulder blades down and back. And then from here, what we're going to do is get into some neck circles. So just gently start to move the neck around. If you have any discomfort in this, go ahead and you can do the circles, just don't go to the range of motion that is that's uncomfortable. Try to maintain a pain-free range of motion. Good. Maintaining good posture. Really get into those rolls. Good. Other direction. Good. And then from here, we can go into a chin tuck, where we push our chin not down, not up, but nice and straight back towards the spine. And then just laterally flex or kind of bend the head over from the neck to the side. And just get a stretch in your neck here. And then you do the same thing to the other side, really put the chin back and tucked, and just lean over. Good. And I would hold each one of those for about a minute on each side. And then from here, what we can do is go into some shoulder kind of rolls with our hands on our shoulder. Doing these once again until you get a little burn in the shoulders, or for about a minute probably would be a good time frame. Making sure we do both directions. Good. And then from here, what I like to do is start to get into some stretching. So a big contributing factor for neck dysfunction is shoulder dysfunction. And a lot of us, especially in the area that we live in the Silicon Valley, are going to be tight in the front of our chest. So one thing I like to do a lot for my clients is have them stretch their front delts, or the front part of their shoulder, by doing what's called a handcuff stretch. So what that's going to look like is having the fingers interlocked, and putting it in your mid-back, shoulders down, and puffing the chest out. And really stretching the front of the shoulder. Good. You can creep the hands up the back if you need to make it more intense, but try to really keep the shoulders down and puff the chest out. Most of you will probably be in your lumbar or lower back and feel a stretch, which is perfect. Good. And hold that for about a minute. Good. And then from there, what I'd like to do is go into cat-cow. I love the cat-cow motion because it gets kind of the whole spine moving, which is really good for maintaining a healthy spine. So we'll go into our cat-cow. So we'll kind of really arch the back up, really pushing our shoulder blades apart, kind of thinking of lengthening the spine in an arc. And then we'll come down into that motion that's going to be the camel movement in this. And then back up, or I'm sorry, the cow movement. And then down. Keeping the elbows nice and straight. And then just looking straight down. And from here we can go into our child's pose, which is going to look like this, where we're sitting back, our heels down, sitting our butt down to our heels, and reaching forward. Good. And we'll hang out here. Each stretch we're going to hold at least for a minute. If you're feeling good and want to go longer, that's awesome. Go ahead. But we're going to do a minimum of 1 minute on the stretching. And then from here, what I'd like to do is get into a bridge, a hip bridge on the floor. What that's going to do is get our spine moving once again, and also activate some of our stabilizers for the spine, like our glutes and our mid back and lower back, and even our hamstrings a little bit. So we'll get into our floor bridge. So from here, we'll be essentially in a sit-up position, and we're just going to lift our hips up and then slowly down, 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 down. Now what we want to focus on here is rolling the hips up and then setting the spine down individually, each vertebrae down, 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 down. So you really want to make sure we roll the hips up and then set the spine down. Okay? Good. Now once we've done that, we can get into our kneeling hamstring stretch. And what that's going to look like is this right here. So we're going to have we'll be on one knee, and we're going to extend our leg nice and straight, having the knee straight, and just hinge forward at the hips. So we're going to maintain good posture, our shoulders down, and pull back, and we're going to have our knees straight, and we're going to push our hips back. Good. So we're going to kind of lengthen from the hips, stretching our hamstring and maybe behind the knee. And we're just going to keep our hands right here and just hinge forward. Good. We'll hold for a minute, and then we'll do the other side. We'll hold for a minute, and then we'll go into our bent knee. So we'll have our knee a little bent, and we'll just hinge forward at the hips. Good. And we'll do that on both sides. Holding for a minute once again. Good. Very good. Now from here, what I like to do is get into my kneeling hip flexor stretch. So what that looks like is just on one knee, leg out in front of you, bent, and just gently push your hips forward. As you're doing this motion, you want to squeeze the glutes, the butt cheek that is down with the down knee. And really just start to push forward through the hips. Get a stretch in the front of the hip. Very good. And then we'll switch. So as we're doing this motion, we want to make sure that we're nice and tall. Make sure we're not leaning forward or doing something weird with our posture. Make sure we're nice and erect and nice in a what's called a neutral position. And we'll just push through the hips. Very good. Squeezing the glutes. Holding for a minute once again. Very good. Now, from here, what I'd like to get into is some kind of movement, some exercises. So from here, what we're going to get into is what's called a cobra. And cobra is going to look like this with on our stomach, with our palms face up, and we're just going to be prone. And in this movement, what we're going to do is lift our chest up and rotate our palms down. And we're just going to hold this. Now we're going to hold it until we muscle fail. So we're going to hold it until we can't maintain good posture and technique. And we're also going to keep our feet down as we do this. Very good. So we'll hold that for as long as you can, probably anywhere from 30 seconds to a minute. And then from there, I like to get into a bird dog. So what a bird dog looks like is this here. So we're going to be on our hands and our knees, and we're just going to extend our arms and our legs all the way, nice and straight. I like to keep my thumb up. Good. Okay, and we can do that for about a minute. A minute would be a good time frame. And yeah, so from there, what we can do is do each one of these exercises 3 times for a minute each time. And yeah, I hope this has helped you guys. And yeah, Jason Ducote signing off.